Look at that beautiful, beautiful harvest moon happening on Friday the 13th. And Frankie, as we were talking about earlier, it's not going to happen again for another 30 years. And Lori just tweeted us out on this one. And she
I saw this, by the way.
The next harvest moon on Friday the 13th will be the 60-year anniversary of BT Toronto. I will be watching, Lori. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your loyalty.
Thank you.
On a beautiful morning like this. Yeah.
How old will you be, Roger?
What would I be? 82.
Yeah, I'll be 77.
We'll be talking about the times. Remember when, Frankie, you did the weather on that Friday the 13th?
And I had a full set of teeth, Roger. Yeah, let's get into it right now. Let's be ourselves right now. Oh, my. Okay, let's take a look what we got going on. Here's a look with your satellite combined with the radar. We have some cloud cover building its way in. Some scattered showers possible through southwestern Ontario into Windsor just through the morning hours. Port Dover, a lot of eyes down there. It doesn't look like you'll get into any wet weather until this afternoon. Toronto, it's going to be later in the day, almost into the evening through the overnight tonight, that we get into some wet weather, some thunderstorms through the overnight tonight. So a reminder, just keep your eyes to the sky. Here's a look at some of that timing, just to break it down for you. There's a look at about 8 o'clock this evening, and you can see some of the heavier rain. This is the line of thunderstorms I want you to be aware of. This is going to continue all the way through up until about 6 a.m. We have the possibility of scattered showers. Even through cottage country tomorrow morning to the east of us, could still see some scattered showers, but dry through the weekend here in the city of Toronto, right across the GTA. Daytime highs today, 22, and that's your temperature through your weekend. Both Saturday and Sunday, partly cloudy skies and highs of 22. In 2049, Stephanie will be 34.
I'll be like 30.
Yeah,
because I'm a child. That would be how old I am in that year. Right now, we're looking at a busy one out on our major routes. The busier of our major routes this morning, definitely the eastbound QEW, already jammed up from about Mississauga Road over to Dixie. So very, very slow through this stretch. We did try to reach out to MTO. We did reach out to MTO, and we looked around on the cameras, not spotting anything. So this is our first strange thing this Friday the 13th, eastbound QEW this heavy at this hour. The eastbound Gardner, that's filling in from the Humber Bridge over to about Dufferin, and that is all just typical volume delays. So otherwise, we're looking at typical volume delays on the rest of our major routes. During the Canadian Cancer Society CIBC Run for the Cure, you don't have to run. You can walk, stroll, whatever you like. Just promise you'll be there on October 6th. Now down to Melford News.
And happening now, we continue to watch this story. 2 homes under construction in Scarborough heavily damaged from an early morning fire. We're going to bring you back to a live look at the scene right now. This is what's left of these homes. A blaze on Westbourne Avenue, which is near Victoria Park and St. Clair. Heavily damaged, as you can see. The flames erupting just before 4 this morning in the garage of one of those homes, quickly spread to a second structure. It appears that both homes were very close to being finished. Right now, no word on a cause. Also, no reports of any injuries. Crews will be keeping an eye on this scene. Well, Toronto police have now identified the victim and suspect in Wednesday's deadly machete attack in the city's East End. 27-year-old Tharshika Jaganathan was killed when she was attacked by a man on Fishery Road near Ellesmere and Collins Road. Police say the victim and the suspect were known to each other. They had a previous domestic relationship. 38-year-old Sasakaran Thanapalanasingam made a court appearance yesterday to face a charge of first-degree murder. Anyone with information has to contact police or Crime Stoppers in this case. Brad Blair, the former interim OPP commissioner, is set to speak out today for the first time since his firing. The former deputy commissioner of the provincial force was ousted after a public battle with Premier Doug Ford over the appointment of a family friend to the province's top job. But shortly after his appointment, Toronto Superintendent Ron Taverner withdrew from the running. Blair has since filed a $5 million defamation suit against the Premier for his suggestion that Blair violated the Police Services Act. Blair had suggested the Premier wanted a $50,000 customized van for his travels. Well, still no end to the pro- and anti-China protests happening in Hong Kong. Dueling protests inside a shopping mall in Hong Kong. pro-Beijing supporters waving flags, singing the Chinese national anthem, while pro-Hong Kong supporters showed up to stare them down. The anti-China protests started back in June in opposition of an extradition law, which has now been taken off the table. But those demonstrations have now turned into a broader protest, into calls for democracy. There were no arrests reported at today's event. Recovery crews searching for some of the 11 victims of a capsized boat in the central Indian city of Bhopal. Just 5 of the 16 aboard the boat were able to get rescued. The boat overturned, sank as participants celebrated a Hindu festival on the water. 2 men reportedly still missing. This boat, designed for just 10 passengers, had as many as 18 on board. Fire crews used cherry pickers to help rescue patients from a hospital that caught fire just north of Rio de Janeiro, killing at least 1 person. Staff tended to patients as they lay waiting in the streets before being moved to another facility. Hundreds needed to be evacuated from this burning hospital. The cause still under investigation.